Hello, my name is Beatriz Royo, and now we are going to explain, or this session is going about the digital twin and the role it plays in last mile decision making. The agenda that we are going to follow is first we will start with an introduction, then we will see the transition drivers and the key actors, then we will explain the digital twins and the role it plays in city logistics and more specifically in decision making, and finally what are the challenges and recommendations to deploy this digital twin for city logistics decision making. The first we need to understand is the context that we are living. As we can see in this image, this is the vision of the future mobility. Here we have different actors that are living without any type of conflict. For this, we need to reshape the public infrastructure, we need to provide electric charging stations and new regulations in order to make these cities more livable. The main drivers of this change are the availability of real-time data that is pushing the appearance of new business models as mobility as a service, logistics as a service, micromobility, or cloud shipping. Artificial intelligence is also one of the drivers for improving decision making with new advanced tools and also the appearance of autonomous vehicles. In addition, the electric vehicles advances are changing the paradigm of the types of vehicles used in the last mile, but also in general. The climate change political agenda are forcing the cities to focus on how making the cities more sustainable, more decarbonized, and more livable. And finally, the citizens' awareness who are more concerned of the impacts of the mobility are the actions that they do every day. The actors affected by these drivers, who also play an essential role for shaping the urban mobility transition, and most specifically last mile logistics and transport, are policymakers, as they are experiencing challenges in order to know how they have to allocate the public sphere, how to improve the public transport services, what are the new regulations that are needed for the new mobility forms, and how to adopt the innovative culture. For the service providers, they need to create new distribution capabilities to the growth of the e-commerce and online sales. They have to see where they have to locate the warehouses, what are the vehicles that they need, what type of carriers, and also the possibility to have riders. For the shippers, they are increasing the numbers of sales in order to interact with the consumers. Here, they need to see how they are going to create the logistics capabilities. And finally, the consumers with the customer preferences are the ones that are reshaping also the last mile logistics, as they can be only receivers, they can be also senders, but also bringers in the case of cloud shipping. So focusing on the first actor, the public administration, it plays an essential role in adapting the city to the emerging mobility needs. So it needs to define and adapt the existing sustainable urban mobility plans. Some of the adaptations that are required in order to create the future mobility are to reallocate the public sphere, to develop the digital infrastructure, to define the regulations in order to allow the different actors to interact safely, and also to foster the innovative culture. In order to do this, the policymakers need data. And by now, they have been collecting data from the different sources, and it has required a lot of time. It's a very time-consuming activity. And in the end, there was a lack of information, and they had to make the decisions based on the rule of thumb. But now, with the advanced digital technologies, we have the possibility to collect data in real time from the users that are moving in the city. And we are able to allow the synchronous planning. For this, we can create virtual replicas of the cities that can interact with the cities if we provide with the digital infrastructure with sensors in order to collect information in real time. This data becomes after the fact data, so it means that even after something has happened, we can use this data in order to make strategic decision making, and for example simulate what if scenarios. For example, asking what happens if we put a hub in a specific location or in another location. The first example related to the benefits of the digital twins are related to the logistics service providers. So the different data sources and artificial intelligence allows to create a digital twin that provides logistics service providers with real-time visibility. It allows to detect, for example, traffic stacks, parking locations availability, accidents, and based on this information, adapt the routes in real time. Synchronous or dynamic route optimization. After the fact data and advanced simulation techniques, they may help them identify the best location for a micro hub, the type of vehicles that they need, and so on. In the case of the logistics of the policymakers, they can also benefit from real-time data availability. For them, for example, they can monitor the air quality that they may use to regulate if only carbon-neutral vehicles can access a specific zone and notify mobility and logistics providers automatically. Real-time data becomes after-the-fact data, as I mentioned before, and together with historical data and collaboration with the local communities, the cities, let's say the policymakers, can simulate alternative designs and scenarios for reallocating the public space. However, developing digital twins for city logistics policymaking has a lot of challenges that are related to the innovation readiness of the cities. And basically, this means that they need to have technology, digital technology, but also the infrastructure availability. It requires a high level of collaboration between the public and private sectors. The data sharing issues is also a problem, as the private sector may have the feeling that they are revealing sensitive information, and it reduces the possibility to collaborate. The administrative procedures, so they are complex and also takes a lot of time. The lack of knowledge from the private and public sectors to identify the possibility and the new business models that can be enhanced with the digital technologies and also these digital twins. And finally, the dependency on regional and national policies limit the possibility of the local actors to deploy regulations in order to create these digital twins and share data. The recommendations in order to deploy these digital twins is to provide capacity building. Okay, so we need that the actors are aware of what these digital twins are, what are the challenges, how they can deploy them, and so forth. The living labs are a good tool in order to create testing environments and see what are the challenges of the local or specific context. For this, we see that there are different actors that are interacting in the last mile logistics, so it's essential to follow a multi-stakeholder approach. Data science is essential for this, so it's good to anticipate all the data science agreements that are required in order to speed up the developments. And finally, in order to enhance this innovation readiness, to create dedicated departments and resources that are exclusively dedicated for increasing or moving toward the new mobility. So this is all. I hope that everything is clear. Otherwise, please, you can send me an email to this address.